Kansas City, KMBC 9 welcomes you to the following special presentation.
More than a century ago, one ship carried dreams, ambition, and fate across the icy Atlantic.
A marvel of engineering, a floating palace, and in one tragic night, it became legend. Now you can step aboard the Titanic.
A breathtaking exhibition taking you beyond the history books into the humanity, the heroism, and the heartbreak of the world's most famous ocean liner.
Titanic, bringing history to life in KC, where legend sails again. Hello and welcome to Titanic, bringing history to life in KC. I'm Laura Moritz.
And I'm Chris Ketz. We are going to be diving deep, no pun intended, into the stories behind the legend of the Titanic. You are going to hear from experts, you're going to hear from curators, and you're going to hear from people who actually knew some of the survivors.
And we're going to take you inside the exhibit itself to see how the Titanic's history is being brought to life right here in Kansas City. When you enter the exhibit at Union Station, you are going to have a chance to walk through opulent staterooms, stand on deck as ice meets steel, sit in a lifeboat as the world changes forever with more than 200 authentic artifacts, life-size recreations, immersive visuals, and even a daring virtual dive to the wreck itself. This is not just history, it is an immersive experience.
Now, Titanic's story doesn't end with the iceberg. Discover the sister ships, the rescue, and the silence of those who turned away. Also, the iceberg's own fleeting journey through time. You will step on board starting Saturday here at Union Station. This all-new experience making its debut right here in Kansas City, bringing the grandeur and the tragedy of Titanic to life like never before.
Now, while the ship sank more than 100 years ago, the discovery of it on the ocean floor was made just in the past few decades.
KMBC 9's Jamie Weiss went to Woods Hole, Massachusetts, and actually talked with one of the scientists who made this amazing discovery.
Research ships like the Armstrong here at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution have been making discoveries for decades, searching the ocean floor and finding the Titanic. Dana Yerger was one of the crew members on the Nor when the first debris from the Titanic was discovered in 1985.
We weren't looking for the ship, we were looking for the debris because we knew once we had the debris, the ship would be nearby.
Somebody ought to go get Bob.
Using a robotic camera called the Argo, crews were able to see more than 12,000 feet below their ship. And then, the moment that changed history.
Yes, yes. Fantastic! All right!
I was asleep in my rack when the discovery happened. My roommate, Jean-Louis Michel, came into the room and he turned all the lights on in the middle of the night. And he said, "We found it. I think we found it." He wasn't convinced. The boiler was distinct and recognizable, and someone opened up a book and they had a black and white picture of the boilers before they were installed, when they were still in a warehouse. And you could count all the features, and yeah, sure. So we knew we had the Titanic. And then we made a pass right, you see where that mast is laying down there, yeah. And right behind there, that's where the bridge was. That's the bridge where the people actually control the ship. And we made a pass across there, and then we made a pass across the bow.
A year after that initial discovery, scientists with WHOI returned to the scene of the Titanic.
Can you believe it's been 40 years?
It's hard to believe, and as my career winds down, my first feelings are gratitude.
This time, they used a submersible named Alvin to allow researchers to see the wreckage up close and in person for the very first time. The groundbreaking work has helped piece together what life was truly like on RMS Titanic.
What we're most proud of is the basic knowledge that we help reveal.
Reporting from Woods Hole, Massachusetts, I'm Jamie Weiss, KMBC 9 News.
In the world of deep-sea discovery, one small submersible has made a giant impact.
Commissioned more than 6 decades ago, it's still pushing the boundaries of what we know about our ocean. In the world of deep-sea exploration, few names carry as much history or prestige as Alvin.
Diamond Alvin will change your life.
Commissioned in 1964, the human-occupied vehicle was one of the first deep ocean submersibles ever built. In 1986, history was made as Alvin brought people to the site of the Titanic for the very first time.
Well, of course, everybody knows Titanic, but Alvin did not discover Titanic. Let's be clear on that. Alvin visited it after they found it with a camera that they deployed over the side of the RV Noah. So I don't think Alvin can take credit for that. Alvin can take credit for taking the first people to sit on the deck and take first-person pictures of it.
Since then, Alvin has contributed to countless discoveries, opening entirely new chapters in marine science.
Alvin was a part of many discoveries, including the communities and the hydrothermal vents, the giant tube worms. And from there on, I mean, the number of discoveries that we've had while we're out there, and it's the scientists that drive this. So Alvin is a tool that enables that.
And even after decades of service, Alvin continues to inspire.
The capabilities have evolved, and that's kept it relevant. And the other thing is, you take people on a first-person experience, and there aren't too many of those vehicles in the world that can do that.
Another personal experience, and one of the places that you can take yourself in this exhibition is one of the rescue boats. Now, this is a live size of the rescue boat. And see, the interesting thing is, we know that more than 2,000 passengers were on the Titanic, but they only had enough rescue boats for just more than 1,000 passengers. So as everything was beginning to sink and people were jumping off the ship, they didn't have anywhere to go but those icy waters below. Now, our travels also take us to Rhode Island, where a Titanic historian spent his life collecting hundreds of rare pieces when it comes back to the Titanic in 1912. And KMBC 9's Jamie Weiss got a chance to sit down with him.
Well, here's my small office. This is where I keep all of my collection, or most of my collection, what's not currently on tour. You'll see I've got some empty display cases.
Spencer Kennar's Providence, Rhode Island home is a treasure trove of Titanic memorabilia.
It's a styrofoam coffee cup that was brought down to the Titanic by James Cameron.
Yes, that James Cameron.
These were made for the 1997 movie. You'll see they're made of wax. The carpenter of the Minia crafted this out of Titanic wreckage, and it's a cribbage board.
Spencer's prized possession, this golden pencil recovered from the body of the Titanic's wealthiest passenger, John Jacob Astor.
It was given to his son Vincent, and Vincent later left it to his wife Brooke, and that's how I came to own it. I purchased it from a gentleman who bought it from Brooke Astor's estate after she passed.
Wow. So just by happenstance, meeting the right people,
Yep.
getting in touch with the right people, you were able to get this piece of history.
Yep.
With over 500 items in his possession, Kennar has one of the largest private collections in the country, complete with everything from photos to postcards and even memorial pendants. And it all started at a Kansas City antique store when Spencer was just 14.
I still vividly remember rounding the corner and seeing it in the display case, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, that's a White Star Line plate, and it needs to come home with me. And that's kind of what kicked everything off.
Many of the items in his private collection will be on display for the public to see as part of Union Station's Titanic, an immersive voyage exhibit. For a boy who grew up in Overland Park, it's a full circle moment he doesn't take lightly.
We have no survivors that are left anymore. There's nobody alive anymore who can say that they saw the Titanic, in her heyday in 1912. These items are all we have left, and owning them does come with, a lot of responsibility.
In Providence, Rhode Island,
There's a bucket list of items that I would love to own one day, but I don't think I'll ever be done.
Jamie Weiss, KMBC 9 News.
Boy, and what a bucket list it is. Back live at Union Station. Gautam Chanda is Senior Vice President, Global Touring Business Development with Exhibition Hub, which is essentially the driving force behind this exhibition. Welcome to Kansas City. Welcome to Union Station. So what is it about the story of the Titanic, the legend, that keeps bringing people back even a century later?
That's a great question. It's a modern day Greek tragedy. It's the story of humankind, the hubris, man's arrogance against the forces of nature. No matter how well-to-do you are or not, but you face nature at the same level. Nobody can escape that. And then the bravery that comes along with it, the courage behind that, the story of people, which still resonates with everyone, any walk of life they come from. They are drawn towards the story of Titanic.
You've obviously been very close to this exhibit from the start. We've only been here a short time, and I have lost count of the number of times that I've looked at things and just said, wow. Is there one or even a couple parts of this exhibit that you think will kind of stop people in their tracks?
Yes, and the irony of it is that it will stop people from their real tracks and take them to the virtual reality tracks. The VR experience is by far the best that anybody can ever experience. The opulence, the grandeur of the ship. Not only that, you don the headset as a visitor, and you are taken down to the bottom of the ocean, 2.5 miles down there, where it's so hostile, and it's not easy to get there. But through that experience, you see Titanic how it rests today. You could be imagining it how Bob Ballard found the ship the very first time. So that VR experience, I would say, that will stop you in your tracks. But it's a walking VR. You walk the deck. You could be Jack or Rose and just imagine being on Titanic.
It is so great to have you here. It is so great to have this exhibit here. Gautam Chandra of Exhibition Hub, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, coming up next, stories of the survivors.
She was just 9 weeks old when the Titanic went down.
She was the baby of the Titanic.
The youngest to survive a tragedy that changed history.
The world will not let me forget.
And the legend of Missouri's own unsinkable Molly Brown. Next on Titanic, bringing history to life in KC. Hannibal, Missouri, hometown of Mark Twain and, of course, Titanic survivor, the unsinkable Molly Brown. Her childhood home on Main Street serves as certainly a reminder, and it certainly honors her story, her courage, more than a century later.
It certainly does, and as Union Station prepares to unveil Titanic, an immersive voyage, KMBC9's Jamie Weiss takes us to Hannibal to meet the woman who inspired the legend.
Hannibal, Missouri is the hometown of Mark Twain. It's evident no matter where you go, but it's also the hometown of a Titanic survivor, the unsinkable Molly Brown.
So you are standing in Margaret Tobin's house, better known to most people as the unsinkable Molly Brown.
Molly Brown was born and raised in this modest home in Hannibal, Missouri. Although not in this location, it was moved to Main Street in 2024 to help preserve the legacy of this American hero.
Unfortunately, where her original location was, there was a lot of water damage coming from underneath groundwater, and then the hillside groundwater coming over the foundation walls, and it had completely rotted out the floor joists in the home. And then there had been black mold.
Now, in a prime spot in town, the Hannibal Tourism Board hopes more people will come to learn Molly's story.
The ill-fated night of when the Titanic started to sink, she was one of the people that were able to speak to almost anybody on that ship in their language and get them to understand what was happening and what they needed to do to help save their lives.
Molly is best known for getting her fellow Titanic passengers into lifeboats as the giant ship sank. Some say she survived only because a ship's steward physically picked her up and put her in a lifeboat. She was saved by the Carpathia ship and managed to raise $10,000 for the survivors of the Titanic before even making it back to land. As for that unsinkable nickname, she received it from gossip writers at the time.
There's like a little joke around here, like if you see her getting on a ship, don't get on the ship because it's gonna sink. Obviously, she had nothing to do with that.
Molly spent the rest of her life as a philanthropist and advocate for women's suffrage. She died in 1932 at the age of 65. While it might not be easy to make it all the way out to Hannibal to learn about Molly Brown, you can learn more about her and the Titanic at an upcoming exhibit opening at Union Station starting on November 8th. Reporting in Hannibal, I'm Jamie Weiss, KMBC 9 News.
When the Titanic left port in 1912, one family's American dream pointed straight toward Kansas, a dream that would never arrive.
They didn't make it to America, but their story would live on through the ship's youngest survivor, Melvina Dean. When the Titanic set sail in April 1912, one family on board dreamed of a new life in Kansas.
They were emigrating. They were third class passengers actually on the Titanic, and they were going to Kansas to open up a little tobacco shop, and that was going to be their livelihood. She was 9 weeks old, so she was the baby of the Titanic.
That baby, Melvina Dean, was the youngest survivor of that disaster.
There was a wonderful quote that she often would say is that, "I have no memory of the tragedy, but the world will not let me forget."
Almost a century later, she also became the Titanic's last living survivor.
When I first met her, she was living in her beautiful little cottage. And I always remember she loved to garden. I mean, she was in her 90s. She was very alert. She was very agile.
Journalist and author Don Mullen met her in England in the final years of her life. She was struggling to pay medical and nursing home bills. So Mullen challenged the stars of the blockbuster movie Titanic to help, and they responded.
Leonardo said he's giving you $10,000 to begin with, but you're pushing an open door. If you need any more, come back. Kate Winslet came on board. Before Cameron and before Celine Dion and Sony and so on, and that went viral all over the world.
The campaign even raised enough money to ease her final days and even funded a small garden in her name in Southampton, England.
At least she knew people cared about her. She knew people cared about her.
Her family never made it to Kansas as they once dreamed, but Mullen says her story is more than history. It's a lesson.
James Cameron did his last documentary, he called it The Last Word. And he talked about the Titanic being a metaphor, for human society. You had three classes, and the people who suffered the most and the most who died on that tragedy with the poor. And there's lessons in it as well that we can learn from in terms of maybe trying to ensure that such tragedies don't happen again.
It's big, bold, and built to amaze.
There's nothing small on this show whatsoever.
Go behind the scenes with us to see how teams turned a massive vision into Kansas City's newest Titanic experience. Well, designing this sprawling experience was no small feat, and in fact, bringing the Titanic to life inside Union Station took months.
You know, from the massive set to all of the intricate details, crews worked behind the scenes to bring this incredible story to life, and we're taking you behind the scenes to show you how it was done.
In a matter of days, an empty space inside Union Station is transformed into the grand spaces of the RMS Titanic, with curators setting out the final pieces with care.
The artifact that we have in this box right here is a berth rivet. So it was actually taken off the slipway. It fell off the ship as the Titanic was leaving. So it is actually from the Titanic. And there's a funny story that follows this particular item where it was actually thrown at someone when it was piping hot, and they actually ended up catching the item and being able to put it in their pocket and save it for later.
Each item, from a sink to a floor tile, tells a story.
Really important piece here at the end, which is an actual music sheet that was recovered from his body.
As you walk through the exhibit, visitors are given a passenger to follow through the tragedy, not learning their fate until they enter the final room.
You had people of all walks of life on this ship, from the super rich to your average Joe who was taking this trip not for a vacation or fun, but to actually get to a new destination and have a new life. So I think it really encompasses everyone. There's something for everyone at this show.
And soon all of Kansas City will see this history brought to life. I'm Jamie Weiss, KMBC 9 News.
You can explore the entire exhibit starting Saturday. It'll be open through April from Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturdays 10 to 7, and Sundays from 11 to 5. It'll be closed on November 27th, and of course Christmas Day. It will be open Christmas Eve until 2 in the afternoon.
Tickets start at $28 for adults and $20 for children ages 3 to 12. Seniors and military guests pay $25. Union Station members just $18, and SNAP or EBT card holders can attend for $4.50. Group rates are also available but must be booked in advance. Thanks for staying with us this evening. This has been just tremendous being here in Union Station.
And a special thanks to the staff here at Union Station for allowing us and you to see this inside look at this incredible exhibit.
Now we'll see you tonight at 9 on KCWE and tonight at 10 on KMBC.